Tell me, when the crowd gathers around you, when their eyes fall upon you in a street, a hall, a meeting, or a room, what do they see? Do they see a man of command or a man exposed? Have you ever wondered how much of your life, how much of your power, is decided not in the silence of your private mind, but in the noise of public eyes? In the Colosseum of society, every gesture, every slip of the tongue, every tremor of your voice is a vote, cast by others, determining whether you are to be respected, feared, dismissed, or devoured. You think you live for yourself, but in truth you are constantly auditioning. The world is always watching, always measuring, and it needs only the smallest crack to tear your image apart. So I will ask you the question no one dares. When the eyes of the world are upon you, do you rule the stage like a prince, or do you stumble upon it like a fool awaiting laughter? The harsh truth is this. Most men perish in public long before they perish in battle. They sabotage themselves, not with swords, but with careless gestures, with foolish words, with the vanity of honesty or the weakness of emotion. They expose themselves while believing they are being authentic. They surrender respect while thinking they are building connection. They mistake noise for dominance and vulnerability for courage. They are wrong. And because they are wrong, they become prey. I tell you now, if you wish to stand above the masses, if you wish to command the silent reverence that makes others lower their gaze when you enter a room, then you must learn not only what to do, but more importantly, what never to do. For in the art of power, restraint is greater than action, concealment sharper than confession, silence deadlier than speech. You must master the performance of absence, the art of not revealing, not surrendering, not breaking. Only then can you become untouchable. Consider the man who bears his emotions in public. He believes he is being real, human, courageous. But what he has truly done is open his chest and invite knives. Every tremble in his voice, every flicker in his eyes, every sigh betrays him more surely than a written confession. Do you not see? The crowd does not witness his suffering and weep with him. They witness his weakness and calculate how to use it. A tear is not a plea for sympathy. It is a signal of vulnerability. Anger in public is not seen as righteous. It is interpreted as instability. Panic is not understood as urgency, is smelled as blood in the water. The world is a predator disguised as an audience, and those who reveal too much of themselves are not admired. They are dissected. The man who learns to hold his expression still, to mask his turmoil beneath the stone of composure, becomes more feared than the one who roars. For mystery terrifies more than exposure. Which man unnerves you more, the one who spills all his thoughts in a torrent, or the one who stands silent, calm, unreadable, impossible to predict? Power lies not in showing the heart, but in sealing it so tightly that others cannot tell whether you feel joy, rage, despair, or triumph. To them, you are not a man. They will believe you are something greater, something impenetrable. That illusion is worth more than any authenticity. Think then of the fool who argues loudly in public. He mistakes volume for strength, fury for authority. His voice rises until it breaks, his arms wave, his face contorts, and he believes that by making himself heard, he has conquered. But the opposite has occurred. He has surrendered everything. The moment you raise your voice, you have already admitted you are no longer in control. He who must shout has already lost the argument. Why? Because the world does not remember his points, it remembers his loss of composure. They do not see conviction, they see instability. The louder he becomes, the smaller he appears. A prince does not argue with the mob. He does not explain himself to those beneath him. He does not shout to prove what silence already secures. The man who remains calm in the storm, who listens with the faintest smile while another erupts beside him, this is the man the crowd fears. Silence has more weight than thunder. To remain composed while others rage makes you untouchable, because the people will whisper, "What does he know? What is he planning? Why is he so unshaken?" That whisper is more terrifying than any shouted word. Now, imagine the stench of desperation. It is invisible to the one who carries it, yet unmistakable to everyone around him. It leaks into every word, every request, every glance. He leans too close, he asks too eagerly, he praises too much, and suddenly he is no longer a man to respect, he is a man to use. The desperate are not admired, they are exploited. When a man shows that he needs something too badly, people say no, not because they cannot say yes, but because his hunger repels them. Desperation is proof of scarcity, and scarcity is proof of weakness. The wise man, even when starving, walks as if he could feast at any moment. Even when abandoned, he carries himself as though surrounded by loyal allies. Even when on the brink of ruin, his face remains unreadable, his tone calm, his posture tall. This is not vanity as strategy, because once the world believes you are fine, it treats you as fine. Once it believes you are desperate, it treats you as prey, and prey is always consumed. Think also of the flatterer. You have seen him, the one who spills compliments endlessly, who bows, who praises every word spoken by another, who smiles too wide in the hope of being accepted. Do you admire him? No. You tolerate him, perhaps, but you do not respect him. Flattery reveals weakness, and weakness once revealed is never forgiven. Too much praise, too much admiration, and the words begin to stink of manipulation. The crowd does not think he is kind. They think, what does he want? And once they think that, your words lose all weight. More dangerously still, over-complimenting in public places, you beneath the one you praise. You raise him while lowering yourself. You think it harmless, but the crowd remembers the bow, the submission, the imbalance. A prince does not grovel for favor. He does not spill endless honey from his mouth, chooses his words like weapons, sparingly, precisely. A single, sharp compliment at the right moment can forge a bond. But endless flattery makes you look like a beggar, not an equal. The world does not follow those who seek approval. It follows those who give it sparingly, like kings dispensing gold. And what of the man who criticizes another openly? He believes himself bold, righteous, sharp. But he is a fool, for public humiliation creates not allies, but enemies. The one he wounds before the crowd will smile. Yes, he may nod, he may even laugh. But inside, he is plotting. Pride, once bruised in public, does not heal, it festers. It waits. It retaliates. A man who has lost face before others will not forgive. He will strike back, not when you are ready, but when your guard is down. By criticizing openly, you do not merely make one enemy, you make the crowd uneasy. They wonder if he humiliates this man today, who will he turn on tomorrow? Distrust spreads, suspicion grows. And you, though thinking yourself strong, have exposed yourself as reckless. The strategist does not attack in the open. He plants doubt quietly. He undermines subtly. Lets others reach the conclusion he desires without his fingerprints on the evidence. Public insult is temporary dominance, but permanent risk. Silence, distance, suggestion, these destroy more completely than any shouted condemnation. Remember this. Power that is loud burns out quickly. Power that is invisible endures. And yet still, so many men fall to the temptation of laughter. They want to be liked. They want to amuse. They want to hear the sound of others clapping hands and smiling faces. And for a moment, they succeed. They are the funniest in the room. But what has happened to them truly? They have turned themselves into jesters. They have exchanged respect for entertainment. Do not be deceived. When people laugh at your jokes, they are not giving you loyalty. They are not giving you fear, are not even giving you respect. They are entertaining themselves at your expense. And in that moment, your authority is diminished. The funniest man is rarely taken seriously. He is predictable, familiar, harmless. But harmless men do not command armies, do not bend societies, do not inspire obedience. The crowd may laugh, but laughter fades. Respect is eternal. Understand this. Every joke reveals something. Every punchline hints at truth, insecurity, or weakness. The more you joke, the more you reveal. And someone, somewhere will remember. They will smile, but later they will use it against you. Mystery terrifies more than comedy. Silence commands more than noise. A prince does not dance for the crowd's amusement. He waits, and when he speaks, his words are not punchlines but commands. And what of the man who spills his personal life into the public sphere? He believes he is connecting, building bridges, earning sympathy. But what he is truly doing is giving away his blueprints. Every heartbreak confessed, every regret shared, every ambition revealed, these are not harmless anecdotes. They're vulnerabilities, each one stored by the crowd, each one remembered for a day when it may be used. You believe they are listening because they care. In truth, they are listening because curiosity entertains them, and later they will retell your story not as honor but as gossip. Openness dissolves authority. Familiarity breeds contempt. The more they know of you, the less they fear you. The less they fear you, the less they respect you. And once you are too familiar, you are no longer untouchable. You are common. A prince speaks through the mask, not the heart, shares his victories, never his wounds. He guards his past, he conceals his plans, he keeps his pain private. For he knows the world rewards mystery, not confession. These, then, are some of the traps that men fall into every day, without realizing that each slip is a surrender. Public tear, a loud argument, a desperate plea, a foolish compliment, a careless insult, a joke. In overshared story, each one feels small, but each one chips away at your image, your authority, your throne. Power is not destroyed in grand defeats, is dissolved in moments, in gestures, in words. And once dissolved, it is nearly impossible to rebuild. So I ask you again, when the world watches, do you expose yourself? Or do you hold yourself like steel, unreadable, unbreakable, untouchable? For make no mistake, the world is always watching. The performance of power does not end with words. Even when your lips are sealed, your body is speaking. For a single syllable escapes you, you are already judged. A twitch of the eye, a stutter in the breath, a slump of the shoulders, these betrayals of the flesh undo empires of preparation. Do not fool yourself. The world listens less to what you say and more to what your body whispers unconsciously. A man can speak of strength, but if his hands tremble while doing so, no one believes him. A man may declare confidence, but if his eyes dart nervously, if his voice cracks under pressure, his words dissolve like smoke and wind. This is why the control of one's body and voice is the foundation of all authority. A ruler need not speak much, but when he does, his words carry weight because his presence has already declared dominance. Power begins not in action, but in presence. Think of a predator in the wild. It does not scream to announce itself, does not fidget nervously. It moves with a stillness that terrifies, with a slowness that reveals patience, with a silence that promises violence if provoked. That is how you must be in public. Calm, measured, terrifying in composure. The masses are wolves disguised as sheep. They are not merely hearing your words, they are hunting for cracks in your mask. The way your breath quickens under stress, the way your laugh betrays nervousness, the way you shift when insulted, these are the moments they remember more than your speeches or arguments. Once they discover what rattles you, once they see where you bend, they have the key to break you. They will not need to fight you directly. They will simply whisper into the weaknesses you yourself displayed. So what must be done? You must master stillness. When insulted, do not flinch. When provoked, do not react. When tested, let your breathing slow, not quicken. Every time your body remains unreadable, you add to your aura. Every time you betray nothing, you create mystery. And mystery, more than wealth or brilliance, is what keeps others circling you with unease. To be unreadable is to be dangerous. To be dangerous is to be respected. But look at how men destroy themselves in public without even realizing it. They show off their wealth, believing it commands admiration. They flaunt their success, thinking it secures respect. Yet nothing invites resentment faster than a parade of fortune. People do not admire the man who boasts of his riches. They envy him, and envy is silent. It does not clap, it does not shout, it does not announce itself. Waits, it festers. It sharpens daggers in the dark. It's the man who constantly speaks of his wealth, who displays it openly, creates 1,000 secret enemies in every crowd. To flaunt is to remind others of what they lack. To remind them of what they lack is to provoke hatred. Hatred unspoken is hatred most dangerous. Do not think the smiles mean acceptance. They are masks for quiet rebellion. Men cheer the successful outwardly while inwardly plotting to see him fall. True power does not scream, it hums. It is not flaunted, it is felt. The prince who understands this allows his success to be suspected, never paraded. Subtlety is his shield, quiet confidence, a presence that suggests strength without displaying it openly. Inspires more respect than all the golden watches and silk garments in the world. For what is hidden invites curiosity, and curiosity is respect disguised as intrigue. But what is flaunted invites judgment, and judgment is respect poisoned with envy. To survive in public, you must cloak yourself in illusion. You must appear calm when you are on the verge of collapse. You must appear modest when fortune overflows your coffers. You must appear detached when you desire something most. This is not deceit, is strategy, because the world is not composed of allies. It is composed of watchers, measuring every move, deciding silently whether to elevate you or to tear you down. And do not underestimate how quickly they will tear you down. Most men imagine they will be destroyed in one grand failure. But destruction comes slowly, quietly, through carelessness. A laugh too eager, a confession too deep, a plea to desperate, these are the cracks through which ruin seeps. Men surrender their power not with great mistakes, but with small ones. Repeated in public, unnoticed until their image is hollowed out. Think of the entertainer again, the one who jokes, who amuses, who earns laughter. He believes he is winning favor, but laughter is not loyalty. Laughter is the sound of superiority. Those who laugh at you may smile, but they are not bending to your authority. They're placing you beneath them, as the jester beneath the king. And a jester is never feared, never followed, never obeyed. He is remembered, yes, but remembered as amusement, not as ruler. The moment the crowd thinks of you as harmless, you are finished. Respect once lost cannot be regained with jokes. Think of the flatterer, again the one who bows, who praises too often, who seeks approval in every glance. His words may open small doors, but those doors are never the gates of true power. Because once the world knows you seek approval, it knows you can be controlled. The man who needs validation is already defeated. A prince is followed not because he seeks approval, but because he withholds it. Approval from a ruler is rare, precious, heavy. But approval from a flatterer is cheap, weightless, meaningless. Think of the loud man, the one who argues publicly, who raises his voice, who shouts to prove his point. He believes he is feared, but in truth he is pitied. His weakness is displayed openly, for everyone now knows exactly where his pride lies, exactly what triggers him, exactly what he cannot endure. The calm man, however, who refuses to argue, who refuses to rise to provocation, commands infinitely more fear. His silence asks a question far darker than any loud accusation. What is he planning? And finally, think of the man who exposes too much of his private life, the one who believes honesty builds connection. He does not see that every revelation is a weapon handed to the crowd. What they know of you today will be used against you tomorrow. What they nod at today will be gossiped about tomorrow. Power demands mystery, and mystery dies the moment you overshare. A prince who keeps his plans secret can never be defeated, for his enemies do not know where to strike. But a man who reveals his heart has already carved a map for those who would betray him. This is the essence of power in public life. Concealment, restraint, composure. Not showing, but hiding. Not reacting, but waiting. Not confessing, but controlling. The prince does not waste energy proving himself. He does not beg. He does not brag. He does not explain. He observes. He withholds. He remains silent when others scream, calm when others panic, unreadable when others confess. And in that stillness, he becomes terrifying. Understand this well. The world is not generous. It is not forgiving. It is not kind to weakness. It punishes weakness not with swords but with laughter, with gossip, with dismissal. It does not strike you down in battle, it erodes you in whispers. Every gesture, every word, every reaction is a test. You are being measured constantly, silently, without warning. Fail enough of these small tests, and one day you wake to find your authority gone, your respect vanished, your name spoken only as a cautionary tale. But master, the opposite master, control of your emotions, your voice, your body, your image, and you need no sword. The crowd itself will guard your throne. It will whisper of your composure, of your silence, of your mystery. They will fear to cross you, for they do not know what lies behind the unreadable mask. That is true power. Not needing to prove, not needing to show, not needing to explain. Simply existing as a presence others cannot decipher. When you next step into the public eye, remember, you are not merely present to, are performing. Every glance is a judgment. Every movement is a signal. Every silence is a weapon. Guard your image as you would guard a kingdom, because it is one. Defend it with mystery, protect it with restraint, and wield it with silence. And if you fail, if you reveal too much, argue too loudly, flatter too eagerly, expose too honestly, flaunt too arrogantly, or react too carelessly, then you will not need an enemy to destroy you. You will have destroyed yourself, and the crowd will only watch, smiling as your throne collapses. So I leave you with one final question. When the world watches, it always does, will you be the prince who rules with silence, or the fool who perishes with noise?